Hello everyone, it's your old pal buddy friend Valdestot here. Just got back from a day of gig apping. So hopefully your day was just as good as mine. As you all know, we multi-app, so it helps. We are not beholden to one particular app and we can select the best offer at the time. So the title of this video is if DoorDash, GrubHub, and Ubereats did this, would you still work for them? A little talked about deadline is fast approaching and may possibly change the gig app landscape. And I'm making this video because of John Mikaelian. That's why I put featuring John Mikaelian. He is a YouTuber as well, trying to get his feet off the ground, and he's got some real good thoughts and information. So I suggest if you want, check him out. I'll post a link in the description for his YouTube channel. But let's start on this, okay? So this is a real possibility of what could be coming down the pike. Not fear mongering, not trying to scare anyone, but it's a possibility, okay? What I am talking about, or what I'm about to talk about, I should say, it is a possible scenario, at least for one of the three gig apps. The main three I'm talking about is, of course, DoorDash, GrubHub, Ubereats, okay? But if it happens to one app, the other apps will look from the sidelines and consider the ramifications from a distance. As in, if this happens and this app does great, they may consider doing it. If it doesn't, well then they're going to let that app hang themselves. Okay, so the app in question is GrubHub. Okay, so there was talks back in last year, as you already know, right? That GrubHub got bought out by Just Eat Takeaway. In addition to what's going on in the current marketplace in today's world, in addition to the politics involved about what's going on, this is what started off this, video, a conversation. As you can see in the email, John emailed me and said to me, GrubHub is in trouble, especially now that they're going to be in a handicap match against DoorDash and Ubereats since Postmates is gone. Are changes coming when their new parent company, Just Eat Takeaway, takes over in June, which is next month? What do you think? I said, I didn't realize they were that badly in trouble. I've noticed that our GrubHub orders have a lot of offers that include bonuses, right? He said, look at your earnings. Anything that's not a customer tip is coming out of their pocket. I've been seeing a lot of $12 to $15 offers, right? And I said, you are right to a certain extent. Look at the pay summary. Looking at the pay summary, there are orders that have a tip ranging from $2 to $7 with add-on bonuses. He said, look at all those bonuses. It means they're getting declined and GrubHub is forced to pay the bonuses, not sustainable long term. Okay? So, after doing some research, okay, about this, I asked him if I could have his permission to post the email, and it's in shortened form for time purposes, right? But realistically, it is an issue, and he gave me his consent, so therefore I'm putting it out here. So, my response to him was, the problem is simple. These gig apps choosing to go to the independent contractor route, okay? By choosing this route versus an employee route, right? I'm about to make a video, which is now, detailing why these companies are making money but still not profitable and actually losing money. There are smaller outfits in my area like Dinner Delivered that are full on W-2 with schedules. You must have like a normal job and orders you must take like a pizza delivery. These gig apps only thought about not paying minimum wage, benefits, and taxes, and possibly in addition, just extra stuff. like insurance and all that, right? So by doing so, they opened the door to Pandora's box. They can't control us like employees and thought that they were slick. They thought they could with their rules and their ever-changing quote unquote pay models. The problem is there is one thing they can't change. The problem is there is one thing they can't change, which is, and I said it twice for emphasis, the ability for us drivers to decline any offers and to work whenever we want. Do you see the problem with going the independent contractor route? There are pros and there are cons, okay? They looked solely at, oh, let's not make them employees for the reasons I gave earlier, right? But we can control them like an employee, but call them independent contractors. Oh, right? Like in a sinister laugh. See, that is the core tenet of being an independent contractor. We can decline 100% of offers. We can work or not work. They try to make us act like employees, but the new problem is drivers not being on the road because of government money now in play and more educated drivers. I have said this before. They will have to make a choice. Either change their pay model and charge customers more or accordingly to account for higher driver pay, lower distances, or increased pay for higher distance orders, or switch from an independent contractor model to a W-2. That's all there is to it. You can only reduce driver pay or increase distances only so much before drivers aren't going to do it. The majority of drivers aren't going to do it, I should say. Okay? So there are inherent risks to doing either of these things because they have to do something, and hiding payouts isn't it because drivers aren't going to take risks and gamble on longer distance offers with low payout showing. I mean, that's just a simple fact. Over 80% of all drivers, in my opinion, this is not a fact, this is just my opinion, are not going to do this. So, here's the research I did. This is from last year, September 4th. The Street Investing is the website, okay? GrubHub merger end date extended 6 months. So they at the time they did the acquisition, GrubHub's board accepted it, and right here, I circled it. It will happen on June 10th of 2021, okay? So we know it's coming. So I did a little more research into Just Eat Takeaway. Evidence possibly that GrubHub may go the W-2 route. I'm going to read a little bit of this, okay? And this is from payments.com. As courts force an end to the use of gig workers by Uber and Lyft in California, the CEO of Just Eat Takeaway said he will do it on his own. Jitse Groen, leader of one of the world's largest food delivery platforms, told the BBC he intends to stop using the independent contractors at his European operations. We're a large multinational company with quite a lot of money, and we want to ensure our people, he told the news service, we want to be certain that they do have benefits, that we do pay taxes on those workers. Groen, a Dutch billionaire businessman who is also the founder and CEO of Takeaway.com, the Amsterdam-based online food ordering and home delivery service, told the BBC prefers to operate his company with staff who receives benefits and workplace protections. It's a model he has used at Takeaway since the company was launched in 2000, he said. Ride-hailing and delivery drivers are routinely considered part of the gig economy in which workers are paid based on the jobs or gigs. Employees, on the other hand, are entitled to benefits such as vacation and holiday pay and health care. In addition, employers must pay taxes for workers, including 1/2 of their Social Security and Medicare taxes, along with state unemployment taxes. Groen told the BBC, He did not like the idea that workers who customers rely on to deliver food should have worse working conditions than those who receive the food. It is our intent to make the quality of life of these people a lot better than what it might be now, he said. The interview comes 2 months after a deal was reached for Just Eat Takeaway to buy GrubHub for $7.3 billion. The company said at the time that the merged entity will focus on popular sectors for food delivery, including the US, UK, Germany, and the Netherlands. So, pretty much, that is straight from the CEO's mouth of the parent company that is going to take over GrubHub in June. Also, this is what the U.S. Labor Secretary said and what President Biden did afterwards. This is just 2 days ago on May 5th. Classifying workers as independent contractors is now tougher after a Trump-era rule is dropped. And as you can see in the picture, right, Californians are set to decide if drivers on Uber, Lyft, and other base this is an old picture stock photo over the battle over Prop 22, which was back in October 15th, right? So pretty much, right? The Labor Department is revoking a Trump administration rule that would have made it easier to classify workers as independent contractors, reshaping the parameters of the exploding gig economy. And this article, as you saw, was from USA Today on their website. Worker advocates say that the Trump-era rule would have allowed employers to deny workers minimum wage, overtime, and other benefits afforded full-fledged employees. But labor lawyers who represent companies say scrapping the rule will lead many employers to bring on fewer workers, many of whom prefer to be freelancers in the growing gig economy. The Trump-era rule largely would have allowed employers to label workers as contractors if they, rather than the firm, controlled how their work is performed and determined whether they make or lose money based on their initiative or investment. The measure was scheduled to take effect March 8th, but President Biden suspended it through an executive order. The Labor Department will now revert to a more amorphous status quo in which officials rely on up to 6 factors to decide whether a company is misclassifying workers as contractors. Those include the 2 that were central to the Trump administration rule, as well as several others, such as the skill level required for the work and the permanence of the relationship between employer and worker. By withdrawing the independent contractor rule, we will help preserve essential worker rights and stop the erosion of worker protections that would have occurred had the rule gone into effect, U.S. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh said in a statement. Legitimate business owners play an important role in our economy, but too often workers lose important wage and related protections when employers misclassify them as independent contractors. So, that was a mouthful. So we know that GrubHub is being merged next month, officially. We know that their European operations and the CEO eliminated the independent contractor model and more in favor for a W-2 model. We know that the Biden administration wants to help out independent contractors, so they may change it to make it harder to classify drivers or people in the independent contractor community as being called independent contractors because of all the shenanigans and foul play these gig apps are doing. Saying we're independent contractors, but treating us more like employees by not disclosing full pay, unfair rules, all that, right? Or with GrubHub, making sure that you stay above a certain acceptance rate to get preferred ability to schedule for work, which basically if you aren't, it's limiting work, and that's not a tenet of being an independent contractor. So We all know that the current gig app pay model is unsustainable. Drivers are constantly fighting with the apps for more transparency, higher base wages, shorter distances, and fairer rules towards independent contractor drivers. Benefits is usually not a part of this conversation, but it depends on who you ask. Customer tips should not be subsidizing our pay, which leads to driver animosity towards the customer. When they see offers lower than $5, which in turn results in a customer not getting their order quickly or if at all. Gig apps need as many orders delivered because each delivery results in them getting their service fees from not only the customers, but restaurants as well. So if GrubHub changes to the European model and becomes the first gig app to be an employee driver-based platform in the United States, the question is, would you all work for them or stay with the company, or would you quit? My thoughts. If a person needed flexibility over stability, for example, a set schedule over no schedule, what the actual hourly pay would be. Would we also get benefits? Would we get some sort of added, incentives, right? What are the actual mileage constraints? For example, maximum miles one way. Tongue-tied, sorry. And finally, if we use our own vehicles, is there an allotment for fuel and maintenance added to our pay, or will it be banked into a savings fund for use in the future based on the deliveries we do, right? Or will it go the way of what the pizza chains do and give us nothing? After all of the headaches of the current system we all are in now, which we all know about it, I'm not going to rehash it. Okay, these apps, all three of them, have their problems, and it mainly involves the pay. So maybe one major app to go this route wouldn't be a bad thing. It is too early to tell to speculate if a major app possibly going the W-2 employee route would be good or bad. It is. We don't have enough information. There are smaller apps like out there in the world, like in my market, Dinner Delivered, but maybe they're small for a reason. Maybe it's harder to be a W-2 in the larger, more volume markets. I don't know. At least drivers who are sick and tired of these apps hiding tips, Doordash, playing games by encouraging higher acceptance rates by higher pay baiting, Doordash, using bonuses for increasing deliveries, Doordash and Ubereats, going W-2 may change all that with an hourly pay model plus 100% tips. Now, don't get me wrong, people. Don't start clicking that down button or anything or giving me hate in the comments. I am not advocating either way to go W-2. I'm only here to inform you all of the possible things to come because GrubHub will be merging next month, and Just Eat Takeaway made their entire European operation from independent contractor to employee-based drivers. 2. The U.S. Labor Department is advocating for independent contractors to become W-2. And the current gig economy is not profitable. And as John said, not sustainable from a GrubHub perspective because of all the bonus money being used to get deliveries fulfilled, which is coming out of their own pocket. You can't keep subsidizing your profits to pay drivers to encourage them and incentivize them to keep delivering to these no-tip, low-tip people. Customers, right? It's not sustainable. It never was supposed to be sustainable. I'm thinking these gig apps were doing it and in turn hoping to grow the customer numbers to a point where they would at least break even and then eke out small profits in the end. But it's been years and it hasn't changed and it's only gotten worse. So, what do you all think? leave a comment below and get a conversation started. Hit the like button, or if you like this video, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Remember, I also give weekly cash giveaways to public subscribers, and once I hit 1,000 subscribers, the giveaway amounts will increase because I'm going to be, monetized, and I'll have more money to give out. To become a public subscriber, click the link in the description to know how to do it. It takes all of 20 seconds and is simply a YouTube setting change, switching your profile from private to public, and allows me to see you as a subscriber when you comment on my videos. So that's it, people. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Make your money. And I will talk to you all later. And please, give John a try. He tries his best to give out good information like me. His channel will also be in the description. Take care all, and have an awesome day.